Hello. Today we're going to do some walking in bed. But first we're going to build up into it. So go ahead and lie down. And we're going to start by moving the toes and the feet. And we're going to rock them. And we're going to kind of relax the ankles. So it's not like an exercise of moving the feet forcefully, but just kind of trying to get a rhythm, like you're trying to put a baby to sleep, like a ah. And as you do the feet, see if you can do it from the toes. See if you can do it from the heels. Do it from the toes. Do it from the heels. Take a break whenever you need to. And if you are okay with just continuing, is the feet moving? Does it send a vibration all the way up the body? Can you feel your hip moving? Can you feel your chin moving? Your nose moving? And slow it down. And just let it go. Notice how the feet are completely relaxed. And go ahead and turn the toes in gently and out gently. And in gently and out gently. And again, it's not a forceful movement. You're not trying to get all the way to the end of the range of motion, but you do try to feel how the sacroiliac joint opens up and relaxes. Open up and relaxes. And especially if you're sitting long hours, that can get really kind of stuck, and rolling the toes in, maybe even staying there for a second. And notice if one side tends to move a little bit easier. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little movement that nobody would see, but you would feel. Is the side that's more able? And we're going to meet it in a minute in different movements. Are you inhale or exhaling when you go in? Are you trying to get a little bit more and get a little bit pain here? See if you can reduce that and just find, really just focus on the opening of the sacroiliac joint in the back of you, not in the front. And let that go. And imagine that you have a string attached to the middle toe, and someone is pulling, and also a string to the knee, and they're pulling it. And you're dragging the leg on the bed until there is a place, an opening in the joint where you can just turn the leg and make it stand up. And then the other side, another two strings, one from the middle toe and one from the knee, and someone else is pulling it, and they're dragging your leg up until there is an opening where you can gently bring the leg. And in this position, lift the arch of the right foot up and down, and up and down. So you're lifting the arch of the right foot up and down. And notice if your right hip also moves to the right when your right arch is lifting up. And now start lifting the outer side of the left. And notice if your left hip moves to the right when you lift the outer edge of the left foot. And now lift the right inside and the left outside and see if your hip rolls to the right. And allow it. Allow it. Allow it. And go just as far as it feels comfortable, without any pain in the abdomen, without any pulling in the back. But remember to lift the arch on the inside of the right foot, on the outside of the left foot. And then we're going to do it to the other side. Lifting the left arch on the inside. And notice how the left foot tilts to the left and how the left hip tilts to the left. Then lift the outer side of the right foot and notice if it's easy or not so easy. Is that side a little bit kind of like dragging behind, not as bright as the other side, or the other way around? Or everything's just the same and you don't know what I'm talking about? And then the inside of the left foot and the outside of the right, and tilting the hip and the knees to the left, and lifting the arches and tilting, and lifting the arches and tilting. The inside of the left and the outside of the right. And keep on breathing. And to the right and to the left. Lifting the arches and to the right and to the left. See if the head wants to go to the opposite side of where you're going. And start getting a little bit of a twist in the spine. You can do it as slow as it feels good to you or as fast. But don't skip stages and rest. Now we're going to do the opposite. Instead of lifting the arches, now we're going to push the heel into the floor. Push, 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 push. Like a little accelerator. Trying to see if just giving a little bit of gas will get you into the hip. So what we did with the feet before, now we're doing with the heels. Pressing very gently into the bed and see if it takes us to the hip and maybe even to the head and neck. And find a rhythm. Your rhythm. See if it's possible to find a rhythm. Good, and rest. And now pump only with the right foot. And shift to your left. And pump with your left foot. And shift to your right. So we're pumping with the right foot and with the left hip. It gets firmly into the bed and maybe even climbs all the way to the left shoulder. And then you're going to press the left foot into the bed. And your hip will turn to the right. And maybe it's going to climb all the way to the shoulder. And think about it as maybe having, as you're pressing the right foot, think about a marble that starts from the knee of the right foot and rolls down the heel, crossing and coming to the right, to the left shoulder. And then you come back to center and you press the left heel down, and you have a marble on the top of the knee, and it's gently rolls down the heel, crossing the hip and getting to the right shoulder. And try to do it from side to side. And see the marble, and see if you can control the speed of the marble as it goes down the heel and down to the shoulder. And again, everything is done with very much of ease, like you're underwater, or like you're laying in a warm sand on the beach. And the pumping brings blood and oxygen all the way from the foot to the shoulder. So there is movement that travels through the whole body. And again, take as much time as you need for the marble to reach. It can be a heavy marble that moves really slowly, or it could be a tiny little marble that maybe moves a little bit faster. Again, depending on the day, on the tempo that you feel like exploring. Go ahead and open the legs a little bit wider and bring both knees in as you exhale and out, and exhale and inhale, and exhale and inhale. And notice how the weight goes inside to the inside of the feet and on the outside of the feet and the inside of the feet. And what happens to the weight on the sacrum, on the flat bone in between the two sides of the hips as you going in and out. It's kind of like the movement that we did earlier to open and close the sacrum. So now we're going to do it with one leg at a time. So the right knee will go down and the left will go down. See if you can exhale when the knee is on the way down, and maybe inhale as you come up. And again, refrain from trying to get with the knee down to the floor. Yeah, I can do it, but now there's pulling and strain, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for movement that will cross from side to side and will bring ease and blood and comfort, and maybe open up spaces that have been kind of stuck. Exhale on the way down and inhale on the way up. And if you want to add the arms to it, go ahead and add the arms to it. And if you want to add the head to it, add the head. And if it feels good, once you're down, you can stretch your legs and you can come up from the other side. And start making circles. And when you're done doing circles the one way, you can do them the other way. And again, don't draw the legs really, really high. Don't be ambitious. Find the freedom. Notice how the pelvis is rolling. Nothing that's you need to create that needs an effort. And then just rest. If you want something that's a little bit more vigorous, so again, drag your leg and drag the other leg. And exhale and bring the right leg up and put your hand underneath, and exhale and bring the left leg up. And with the two hands, I put all 5 fingers underneath. Go ahead and start walking and walking and walking. If that is not comfortable, you can put your hands on your knees and walk. And even here, maybe slow it down, maybe come a little bit higher onto the lumbar area and do small movements. And try midway and try maybe a little bit further. If you want a little bit more exercise kind of thing, you can put your hand and start creating resistance, a little bit of resistance. But again, if this is too much for the abdominal, then just let it go. Go ahead and put your arms up and slide one arm in, up and down, and lift the shoulder, and keep the eyes looking at the thumbs. So the head is in the center, which creates rotation. So the shoulder that comes up gets closer to the head because the head is not moving. And now go ahead and move the head even more to the side. So if my right arm goes up, my head will turn to the right. And when my left arm goes up, my head will turn to the left. And when my right arm comes up, my head will turn to the right. And when my left one comes up, the left. So I'm going with the head even more to the direction that I'm coming up. And then when the right arm goes up, I'm going to turn my head to the left. And when my left arm goes up, I'm going to turn my head to the right. And as you find it, of course, easier, find out what your feet are doing. When my left arm is up, are you pushing your left foot into the floor? And when you lift your right arm up and your head turns to the left, are you pushing your right foot into the floor? And see if you can create a rhythm here. And let it go and rest. And last and not least for today, lengthen the left leg out of the hip and lift your right shoulder up to your ear. And then change and lengthen the right leg out and lift the left shoulder up. So of course, for me to lengthen the left leg, I need to shorten the right and allow the right shoulder to come up and change and change and change, and allow the head to go any way it wants. Complete freedom. No instructions. Whatever feels good. And now make it smaller. Keep on lengthening and shortening, but make it smaller and smaller and smaller until you're rocking from side to side because you're lengthening and shortening. So it's different from what we did earlier with the feet initiating. Now it's the shortening and lengthening until you come to a stop. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another deep breath. And thank you. הלוואי והייתי יכולה לעשות את זה איתך לידך.